All right, we're in the town of Micanopy. We're looking east down essentially Main Street. We see, I'm not going to go all the way down there, but that's the old school building. After that, pretty much it's 441. There's not a whole lot of the town down there. We're going to focus on from this point downtown. This is the old Thrasher Brothers warehouse. A railroad used to run through here. It ran right down this bed right here, right in front of this warehouse. Ended up on the other side. This Thrasher Brothers is now a museum of an incredible collection of stuff. We're not going to go in. I've done a video on the inside and the outside over the last year or two. In fact, I just went inside, just did the video inside for the first time. I'd never been in there before. This also houses the archives. For what this is amazing. I mean, this just can't recommend it enough. It's worth a couple of hours to come check it out, all the stuff they have here. Micanopy was a once thriving, or is a once thriving, railroad, citrus, lumber, turpentine, etc. community. Now known for its cool old houses, its oak trees, and it's essentially, I don't want to say restored downtown, but maintained downtown, I'll say. What was once all those industries is now basically antiques, some restaurants, just really amazing, cool, old original buildings. Obviously the old gas station, and this comes out much better on video than it does in person. I can't even see this in person, but on the screen I can see, I could read it. I couldn't read it otherwise. So we're going to continue down Main Street under the oak line, or the moss draped oak line streets. And this is the store window basically tells the story, parts of the story I should say. Coming up on now on some of the older churches. They started out as one type and now they're another type, but this is now I think a Masonic lodge. It probably was a Methodist church back in the 20s. There's probably a plaque up here somewhere to tell us. And it does. Okay. This is my connection is weak. I'm probably going to be fading in and out. Do the best we can. This is the old Hurlong Mansion, built in 1845. Can't see much of it, just the front. From here it's a B&B now. And they understandably don't like people just willy-nilly running around on their property, but it's an amazing structure, obviously. Antebellum structure. Beautiful house. It helps to understand when you're thinking about Micanopy. Micanopy is an ancient town. It was originally, the Indians that lived here predated the Seminole Indians. Bartram wrote about them on his trips in the mid to late 18th century, before any European settlers were here. DeSoto is known to have visited this camp. I mean, we're on a promontory. If we didn't have all these buildings around and trees, etc., this would have been a thriving Indian community back in the day. There's the iconic gazebo that everyone knows about. This, I'm gonna pause that later. It tells you more about this part of, you know, the sort of the brush over, the broad strokes of the town. And we're doing Christmas, so we have Christmas trees. Which is a personal favorite of mine. And we're coming up on a row of antique shops. For purposes of being kind, I will say that these are I call the unfriendly row. This is, I'm sure other people have had other experiences, but during my experiences here, haven't been overly welcoming. But these are all original buildings, incredibly historic. Anytime I've been in there, it's been, maybe because I like to take pictures of interesting things, and these places are filled with interesting things. I didn't care too much for my photography efforts. So we have an understanding. Ever since then, I don't go in, and they don't come out and tackle me and make me go in. Nowadays, this place is, there are people who still live here, but this place is for people who come for the antiques, come for the festivals which they have frequently. And a few, like me, the historians, come for, soak up the history, but when you come to get from a place like to a place like this is a release. It's a relief. It's a chance to get away from it. A place where you wish you could live, but no, you can't. Unless you're an antique dealer or an artist. The artists are on the other side of the street. We're gonna check out the artists later. But I wanted to go down here. This is in my mind, and as far as I'm concerned. Okay, looks like I'm back. As I was saying before I got interrupted by the connection, this is the iconic Micanopy house where everybody wants to live. This is our house. I know somebody I'd like to have sitting right there on that porch with me. And we could sit out and watch the traffic go by. It's got to have air conditioning, got to have computer connection, got to have cable. That's right, baby. That's our house. You bet. It's me and you sitting right there on that front porch. Front porch going all the way around. Anyway, so now we're going to go to the friendly side of town. Where the restaurants, the ice cream shops, the B&Bs are. I'm hoping I'm not shaking too much. I'm using my selfie stick. Hoping that'll give me little more stability in my unstable videographer skills. So here we're coming down onto the, oh, here's a marker to William Bartram. I think we should specifically recognize him and his contributions. And since I'm taking this video, that's what we're going to do. Little plaque to him. He, as I mentioned earlier in the video, he surveyed, and he's basically, he doesn't get nearly enough credit, but he's basically the Lewis and Clark of Florida. And you know, this whole area, Georgia, North Carolina, came down to a place when, or at a time rather, when there weren't any Europeans coming down. He was it. Can you imagine the guts on this guy coming down here in the middle of Indian land, not knowing if he was going to walk out or not, and all he was doing was documenting the wilderness, the wildlife, the people, the flora, the fauna, the animals, etc. And I mean, almost sounds like lessening what he did to say that that's all he did, but that he wasn't coming down for gold, he wasn't coming down for oil, he wasn't coming down to strike it rich, he wasn't coming down to, you know, do cattle or turpentine or anything, or rape the land or anything. He was just coming down to check it out. That's probably why the Indians let him live, because he was essentially harmless. That, and they probably thought he was crazy coming in here by himself. But here we have live music. That's for Brenda. Brenda loves her some, and that's the violin fiddle. You know somebody plays that. And this here is the, I forget what they call it. This is where I eat every time I come here. They have a Cuban. I didn't get the Cuban this time. I had ham and cheese, so there. And it was good. Old Florida Cafe. Very eclectic little joint. And I'm going to continue. I noticed this earlier when I was walking back down this path. This art gallery has original Florida Highwayman paintings. If you don't know anything about that, look it up, because that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This is called The Outpost. This has like a canopy over this old building here. I'm not sure the whole history of it, but it's always fascinated me. And given how these people are with taking pictures inside their places, I'm not going to go inside, but this is a really neat old wooden Indian and an old school Santa. Old school. Cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. Oh, no, nothing is complete. No Christmas is complete without a lighted up wire gator. So that's about it. We've seen the houses, we've seen the downtown, the shops. We've talked about this being an ancient Indian village going back who knows how many years. DeSoto encountered it. Who knows who were here before him. It's the Timucuan were here, but this was a center, this was a hub, this is a big deal. We're on top of a lot of land here. We're on a promontory, and everything basically goes downhill in every direction from here. So without all these trees, without all the buildings and everything else, you would have been able to look out and you know, tell your enemy was coming in advance. Moses Elias Levy, Jewish merchant, 50,000 acres. Wow, good for you. Oh wow, had everything destroyed in the Second Seminole War. Jeez, like a lot of people. A lot of people. And so we're standing, let's see, on Micanopy, we're probably 50, 60 miles anyway from Dade. From where the Dade Massacre took place, Fort King Road. We're probably 25 miles from Fort King itself. You know, Ocala, probably 20, 25 miles. This would have been high on the Osceola alligator jumper hit list of places to raid when the time came. So we're going to close our Micanopy tour, continue on to the cemetery, which is one of my favorites. Old school, classic moss draped oak tree.